Welcome back to the exclusive Hot Kopics podcast on the Kop TV,
where we debate the most juicy and saucy hot Kopics that you can find.
So make sure you like, comment and subscribe, and make sure you enjoy this episode. Right, welcome back to the Kop TV, the voice of football's most famous stand. As you can see, I'm not joined by James Redmond today. I am, but I'm also joined by Ruby Deschamps.
Just because you're also joined by someone doesn't mean you're not joined by one.
To be honest, I said it wrong, but we'll roll. We'll keep it rolling.
So Ruby, because you're here, I don't exist.
Basically.
Well, to be honest, it more so looks like James is the host in the singular chair.
It does, doesn't it? It does, and I say fuck all. That's the beauty of this
I don't
show.
think you say fuck all, because all you do is talk.
No, I do, but I mean, I say fuck all regarding the intro, all the other stuff that a host is supposed to be. The key points.
He pops in when it's needed, absolutely. Big up to Flux again for sponsoring the podcast. Shorts, how are you finding them? I've got the shorts
on today, boss, lovely.
I mean, 34 degrees, by the way, in Liverpool today.
Feels like
very
50,
much
mate.
Needed.
Feels like
I've got 50. The t-shirt on. We're going to get Rubes kitted out for next week. But yeah, make sure you hit the link in the description. Go and check out Flux, Liverpool-based company, as we know. So make sure you support.
Seeing them in the stores in Liverpool one soon.
Little independent there.
Absolutely right. Let's talk Liverpool Football Club. Ruby, we've seen Darwin Núñez start for Liverpool. He's played 2 games now in pre-season, one against Manchester United, one against Crystal Palace. What do you make, and I'm going to ask you the exact same question, what do you make of these people that are already comparing him to Central C, saying that he's the new Lukaku, his touch is heavy. They basically made a compilation already saying that he's bad and we've wasted this money. I mean, if I'm honest, these people aren't real Liverpool fans, but what do you make of his start in pre-season? Should it be looked at or not?
I feel like it goes back to when we done the DR Sports thing the other day and we were talking about Genie. It takes people a different amount of time to settle into a team, to merge into what's already the foundations of a team. And it's one pre-season game. How can you judge anything off that? Because if you could judge it off that, then you may as well just call us shit because we got beat by Man U.
That's a great point. I mean, I totally agree with you, James. What do you make of? Because I mean, it's joke. It's a joke, really.
Yeah, no, it is. It's banter. It's banter, and I think that's why we shouldn't take it overly serious.
He's only young now, isn't he?
What? 22.
He's
just
young.
turned 23.
No, he's only 22. No, do you know my sort of point of view on it all? Obviously, you know my thoughts before he joined, and I did mention about his first touch, and I also mentioned about many other sides of his game. I'm not trying to say that I'm right, but he was doing this in the last league that he was in. The only thing is he scores goals. So unless we're definitively looking for a goal scorer, he's probably going to end up scoring a few for us. Like, if you tell me Núñez scores 20 goals this season, I'm not going to call you a stupid prick. But at the same time, if people want to say he's not that good of a footballer or he's similar to Lukaku, no one can really get. Though. That's not being similar to Lukaku's better than him. He had one bad season. Don't say what. One's had one good season. One's had one good season. One's had one below par season. By the way, Lukaku was still the top goal scorer for Chelsea. Don't say that he's better. That's ridiculous. Lukaku's being talked about with Lewandowski's a year ago, and now we're saying he's not even better than Núñez. I like Núñez. This isn't me hating on Núñez. He's not that great of a player right now. That's the one thing.
But he is young.
But he's young and he's working with Jurgen Klopp. So that's why I'm happy to believe in the process. Back the sort of signing that it is, because it is one for the long term. But that doesn't mean we should be expecting it right now.
Yeah.
But in the same vein, United fans, Chelsea fans, all these fans still have a right to take the piss out of him because he's a big signing, and if he keeps performing like the way he has done in the first 2 games, this is going to be Andy Carroll 2.0.
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that.
It will be Andy Carroll 2.0.
I've heard people call him the Uruguayan
Andy Carroll
already.
showed more of a better first touch when he joined than what Núñez did.
Can we not, please?
But again, people are going to call me shit. I'm just saying it how I see it. He's a Liverpool player. I'm going to support him. I'm going to chant his name. I'm not going to certainly give him slander. But has he got a bad first touch? Yeah. That's not me being harsh.
Is it true? Has Sterling signed for Chelsea now?
Sterling's at Chelsea. Yeah.
Fully gone, yeah.
I literally in the taxi on the way here. It was
like Ruby clocks on to big pieces of news like a week ago. Yeah.
Is that when it's from?
Slow sports news.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
She had a bit of a coffee.
Point? You're in the
just didn't know. That was it. That was the only point.
Told you she had a coffee and then she was in the
Sterling's like that guy on FIFA. You know, the one that's celebrating
Yeah.
in like a Liverpool shirt, City shirt, Chelsea shirt. You know, on FIFA.
Oh yeah, the fella.
The fan. He's in every top club shirt. He's literally that kid, isn't he?
He looks like he'd be a Scouser as well with his haircut. That kid.
He does actually. But on Núñez, 85 million. It's going to rise to with add-ons.
Yeah.
Do you think other clubs, as you mentioned, have a right? at this, because again, I was with Saeed last week, Matisse, they're all saying, he's the Montevideo Andy Carroll, that's the capital of Uruguay, taking the piss. But do they have a right at this stage, rival fans?
It's the thing. The logic that rival fans have got at the moment is the footballing ability that they're seeing and the fact he's had one good season at a decent level. A lot of players can have a 15 to 20 goal a season, but maybe only one. It doesn't mean you're a world-class player. It means you maximise the very limited ability that you do have. So that's the one thing you've got to kind of give respect to Núñez. But at the same time, his first touch is dodgy. There's other aspects to his game. It's true, though. Yous have seen it. I don't know why we all think he's just going to turn tomorrow into having a touch like Zidane or something. Because it's true, he doesn't have a good touch. So what's the one... besides goals, what do you expect from Núñez?
Pace,
running in behind. It's not really a footballing attribute, but I get it. It's an added style to the play.
I think one of the reasons we've signed him is pace. Like when I saw him at Anfield, he absolutely ruined Joe Gomez.
Do you think he's both-footed?
From what I've seen, yeah, I've seen him score goals with both feet.
I think he's quite average on his weak side, to be honest.
On his left foot?
Yes, I think his positioning could be better as well. I think because he's got that mindset of wanting to go out on the left. This can all go back to
the fact that obviously you're saying that this is you hating on him, but you do...
It's not me hating
on him. No, you said before that this is me hating on him when you're speaking about it, but you do like him type of thing.
I've got no reason to dislike him.
No, I know, but I'm saying everything you're saying is like stuff he can develop and work on, like you said, under Klopp.
But his first touch, that can only go so far. That can only take it to a certain point. If he's 22 and his first touch is still bad, I'm sorry, he can only take that to a certain point.
Let's say in the best situation he comes in.
The thing is, he can score 20 goals.
How many goals
this season?
Or what at the end of the season, this time next year, what are we going to look back and say that was a great first season?
I think he could score 20. And for him, that would be a great season. What? All comps, I'm going to say. And I still think that'd be brilliant. I'm just saying that unless you're expecting just a goal scorer, then you're probably going to be disappointed if you're expecting anything else. It's not a bad thing. So when he does have a performance, you're going to see a lot more of those performances that you've seen in the last 2 pre-season games. Except in the other games, he might get a goal. This is what Núñez is. That's why I didn't want to bring him in, because I don't like his all-round game. However, I do believe that he can get us goals. So if he does that, then he's doing his job. And I'm happy.
Can we talk about my Fabio? When I was made up for them.
Sorry, say that again.
Yeah.
Fabio Carvalho.
That was like off him. Do you know Bedtime Stories? Adam Sandler when he's
I'm
telling
not
his
too
story
sure
at
what
the
that
end.
was, to be honest. But yeah, let's talk about Fabio. I mean, you were talking about him last week, how excited you are.
Best signing of the summer.
What a prospect, man.
Yeah, that's all we needed to say. Let's just move on.
Do you fancy him as well? Is that what it is?
I don't really like his hair.
He's 19 as well.
Yeah, careful, because
he is fully 19.
Teenager, so.
I'm not trying to reveal your age, but you're older than him.
I am older.
By a bit.
I didn't know he was 19.
He's fully 19.
Yeah, teenager. But anyway, hopefully he plays quite a lot.
He's nice and fast, isn't he?
He's nice and fast. He's got some good legs on him, the kid does.
Would have made a great guy on Sports Day.
No, do you know what? I can tell that Fabio's your type of player as well, because you're into, like, I remember when Luis Diaz came in and you lost your knickers, basically. But fucking Fabio Carvalho, he's the same. He comes in, he tries things, it's nice, and I do think he's going to adapt to the team well. He's the player who I'm looking at and thinking, like, you're going to make a big difference. Not only in the short term, but in the long term also.
Yeah.
In terms of an asset, bought him for what, 6 million? Brilliant business. Brilliant business.
Fulham, yeah.
Because that's guaranteed profit.
Yeah.
However you want to work that, that's guaranteed profit, whether we sell him for 7 mil or 50.
Yeah.
Or if we keep him and we get loads and loads of goals out of him, then even better. But I think what the glimpses that he's shown so far, he's got a decent pass, sound first touch, but great dribbler.
Yeah,
really good dribbler, great in tight spaces, good at his awareness. He scans the pitch, all these things that you want in a footballer. Very good base level to work on, and that's what I think Klopp will thrive.
And he's Portuguese, and he play well with Jota.
Tell me about it. Tell me, and he's still got that sort of good base level of English as well, so we can still get along with the English lads in the squad.
To be honest, he's more English than he is Portuguese in
terms
of
he's basically
lived here. He sound like, if you speak to him, you probably wouldn't even be able to tell that he's Portuguese because he's grown up in London, and obviously him and Harvey go back as well. They're mates from young at Fulham as well. Will he play on Thursday? So we've got Red Bull Leipzig Thursday 21st of July away, which, I mean, listen, it's pre-season, but we've played them in the Champions League recently. no easy game. Plus Red Bull Salzburg the week after that on Wednesday. So 2 Red Bull teams. We seem to play the Red Bull teams every pre-season. Do you think by the time the Community Shield game comes around next Saturday, will we be in the perfect position, do you think, to start the season? Do you think we need more time, or are those good enough tests for us, or how are we going to fare in this pre-season?
I don't think there's a perfect time to start the season, but as good can be for the circumstances given to us. I think we've got all of our players in, which, whether it's too many or too little, it's still getting all your players in at the right time. They're all going to have a full pre-season. As for the preparation going into it, I think we're fine. We've got 2 players for each position, which is all you need. And on top of that as well, we've got some big games at the start of the season. So we don't know if they're going to be fully settled in by then. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking to make sure that by the time it gets to October, we're still within all of our targets in terms of the league and the cups. But then on top of that as well, I want to make sure that we're showing gradual improvement, because there was something that Klopp done last year. He said at the start, and it stood out with me for the whole season, we're going to be much better by the last game of the season than what we was in the first game. And gradually throughout the season, we improved massively throughout last season. So whether or not we have a good start, even though it's important, it's not the most important thing.
There's always room for improvement, which is good.
Defo. Especially with the amount of changes we've got in the squad. Nunes, stylistically, a different player to what we've got. Fabio Carvalho, Harvey Elliott, who's definitely going to be having more of a role in the first team. You've seen the way Jurgen's been speaking about him. He had a great game against Palace as well. I just think it's going to be a mad season, in all fairness. But I want to say one more thing about Nunes. I said it to you last week. I'll ask you now, Ruby. Do you know everyone talking about Nunes, how he's going to be the new 20-goal-a-season striker, and we're going to slowly see why we bought him? We've got Diogo Jota there, who scored 20-plus goals last season. He's injured, but obviously he's not always going to be injured, is he? I know he's missing a few pre-season games, but we're talking about the actual season ahead, because everyone's talking about Nunes like he's the new thing that's going to be starting up front for us on a permanent basis.
I think that's one thing with our fans as well, though, and people who follow just football as a whole. As soon as they bring someone new in, it's almost like they try and...
It's the new shiny toy syndrome,
yeah,
innit?
literally, they forget about who else is there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I feel like with Diaz and Jota coming in, I feel like Mane could have been accustomed to that as well. He could have fell victim to it. Not saying obviously that's why he's gone and that, but...
Not of course.
I do think that, because all the attention was on Diaz in it when he done like the little catch behind his leg and all stuff like that. So we're getting in like these new foreign players who are prepared to do all these things that players that have been with us for X amount of time don't really do anymore unless they're in the training ground.
Yeah, we mentioned it briefly last week about Jota. He scored 21 goals last season. I mean, he saved us a lot of times, especially in the cup games. You remember the Arsenal one away at the Emirates in the league. He played really well there as well. Scored at United away.
Who had a better season last year, Jota or Nunes?
Jota.
Yeah, and before everyone starts saying to me, "Oh, James, Nunes is only 22. Jota's like only 25."
Yeah,
doesn't
Jota's
really matter.
not
You know
that
what
much
I mean?
older.
Like,
He looks Arlo, doesn't
It's
he?
difficult
like people
to
can
compare,
talk about
man.
like, oh, but what about the long term? If Nunes hasn't done good in the next 5 years, then it hasn't fuck the long term. You know what I mean? Like 5 years is enough of a chance to prove yourself.
for sure.
Whereas Jota has done it in a season and a half. Like I'm just
Difficult
saying.
to compare the Portuguese league, because 21 goals in the Premier League, how many goals does that equal in the Portuguese league, do you reckon?
Probably loads if he's playing for the team that dominates possession the same way that he's
about
playing for the team that
35.
dominates possession.
That's what Nunes got, 35, 36 in the season.
I would not put it past Diogo Jota.
Difficult. I think Jota won the most trophies, didn't he? But Nunes was included in the Portuguese team of the year. I think he was the top goal scorer.
Nunes is good at what he does, but is he what I was going to ask is he a better all-round player than Jota? I don't think he is. He's not a better header of the ball. He's not a better left foot. Not a better right foot. But he is someone who can score.
In
and that's
terms
the
of,
only thing
Shite
we're
on
getting from
FIFA.
Nunes.
Nunes.
Shite on FIFA.
So shite on FIFA.
He's like...
Let's hope that he's better on next year's edition and we can play that.
You know, that's how I always...
that's how she judges
that's how I
teams and
judge
players.
people off.
You know,
Judge
get
a
in the
player.
real world.
Yeah, don't want to do it.
Olivier Giroud, he's shit because he's got 40 pace on FIFA. What a joke. What a
scored
joke.
2
I'm not asked
yesterday.
if he's won everything in the game. He's shit on FIFA.
I know, he's got little man sitting at the top there. I'm not
To be
making
fair,
any sense today.
Giroud is is one of the most underrated strikers in the last 10 years for me.
You know, I agree
100%.
100%. Tech,
If you put
goal
his
scoring
compilation
ability,
reel of the goals he scored
Achievements.
and show that to your grandson one day,
He's the
they'll
greatest
think
of
he's
all
the
time.
Yeah, they would.
I could say to my grandkids, showing them that same goal compilation you've just talked about,
Yeah.
he's the greatest striker of my
And they believe
generation.
you.
And
They believe you.
and
And
he
Chelsea didn't want him. Arsenal didn't want him. And he's at AC Milan now.
I'm
He's
going to
doing
tell
well,
them
be
that
fair.
Giroud was too good for all of them.
Yeah. He needed his own club to play.
So he done what he
basically.
wanted.
In terms of injuries, Klopp the other day said it's not looking good necessarily for Jota. Isn't looking good
Oxlade.
necessarily for the Ox, who
What
obviously
happened
came
to
off the other
Ox?
day, hamstring. And then obviously Alisson is out as well. You've seen Adrian start in these games. Out of those names, who would be the biggest miss if we didn't see them on the starting lineup on the 6th of
Alisson.
August?
Oh, no, Alisson, sorry.
Alisson.
Alisson, sorry. Is that a bad one, Alisson?
Well, Klopp said it's not cool with Alisson. And you know the way Klopp's got away with
Yeah.
words.
I like
It's not cool means it could be quite bad,
It's
actually.
fucked.
Yeah, pretty
it's
much.
fucked.
So, and if Adrian starts in goal,
There's two
then,
sides to
Then
the
we're
coin.
fucked.
then
There's-
we're all fucked.
We're all fucked. We're fucked. There's two sides to the coin now. So Alisson being injured is obviously really, really bad because in terms of our style of play, we rely on him loads with the
lot.
one-on-one saves. But then Jota not being there. I saw a tweet earlier on in the week about Divock Origi and Minamino and Mane all going in one summer. And the reason why that's always a bad thing is because that's three players who can guarantee get you goals.
That's about 40
In a
goals
moment,
there
three
per
clinical
season.
players. They
Yeah.
don't need many chances to get goals. All three of them, especially Minamino and Origi. I didn't rate Minamino as an all-round player, but he was clinical, and I'll give that
He
to him.
was.
Now that they're gone, you've brought in Darwin Núñez. You've got Harvey Elliott and Fabio Carvalho. Harvey and Fabio aren't really known for their being clinical and trying to get in the right position. They're more the creators. I think that's fair to say. And then obviously when you look at the front three as well, we brought in Núñez, who seems to be clinical from the season that he had with Benfica. I think it was the best conversion rate in Europe or something.
Something like that.
One of them, either way. When you lose out on a Diogo Jota, as bad as it is that you don't have Alisson at one end of the pitch, you're losing out on a player who can win you a game by coming off the bench. You're losing out on a player who can go ahead and start a game and score you 2 goals. He's an alternative option. He's something that the opposition has to worry about that's stylistically different. If he's not there, I'm sorry, that's a huge problem. That is a massive problem. So, for different reasons, they're just all really crap. We're used to it with like Ox and that.
That was like,
But-
I was thinking, wow, James has really like changed the way he speaks about
then
like the
just
game and that. And then he
smugged
goes,
himself off, basically.
yeah, but basically it is proper crap
It's
at
proper
the end
crap.
of it.
I mean, listen, there's not that long to go until the season kicks off, maybe 3 weeks. So let's hope that we can wrap Alisson in cotton wool, because out of those names, I mean, the Ox, again, every time he builds up to something, he gets injured. And it's like, well, how
It's
many chances
sly,
does he...
man.
Yeah, squad
Someone on
player,
Twitter
lad.
the other day said, I'm convinced that the Ox purposefully gets injured in pre-season so we never have to sell him. What do you
He's
make
just
of
that
that?
person to be. He's like, yeah, I'll win trophies.
Every
That's a
end
load
of
of
July,
shit,
he goes,
that.
every end of July, he goes, oh, you're looking at buying a midfielder? Oh, I've got a tight hamstring here, you know. I don't think you can sell me. I love the
Daniel
Ox, though.
Sturridge
I know
being
you love
catching
the
up.
Ox.
I love
I was
Ox.
with you the other day when we were watching that, and the Ox was injured, and I was like, the Ox is... And you went,
He's been here like 2 seasons too long now, though, Annie.
do you reckon?
Defo.
Nah,
He has.
leave him alone.
He has. I'm not being horrible to him. I
You
love
are.
him as a person. If we want to hire him to be the social media fella, then go for it, because he'd be great at that.
New LFC
but in terms
TV
of a week in, week
presenter.
out Liverpool FC midfielder, when we've had the likes of Steven Gerrard, Xabi Alonso's, Jordan Hendo, Ninos, Thiago's, Fabinho's, whoever the fuck you want, you're telling me that Oxlade
Momo
Chamberlain...
Sissoko.
What?
What?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But Oxlade Chamberlain, I don't know if we should be getting into that position. I
Well, he
think
doesn't because he's fucking
on-
injured.
Exactly. So why are we keeping a player who doesn't play on over 100 grand a week? Want to
Listen,
reiterate, I love Oxlade.
It's a fairly valid point. If
It
I'm
is a
honest.
valid
I love
point,
him. Did you
but-
see him at Robbo's wedding yesterday, by the way,
Did you
guys?
see Adam Lallana? Have you seen the size of fucking Adam Lallana's nose?
That wasn't what I was going to say,
He's
to
got
be
a
fair.
big
No,
nose, Adam
that's
Lallana, you
really
know.
what I didn't notice that. But there was a good 10 of them all lined up.
I don't follow.
Here's a
Bravo.
question, right? Robbo got married. He was in a Navy
Trent
suit.
was there in the background,
Trent was
just his head
there.
popping out the
Verge
top.
was there. Who else? Thiago was there. Milner was there.
Yeah.
If you don't get invited to Robbo's wedding, how would you feel? Let's say if you're Joe Gomez.
Yeah, but
and-
they're all away, aren't they?
Well, maybe. Well, yeah, but they were all at the
Oh,
wedding.
lad.
The main ones were all there. So how would you feel if you didn't get invited to that? And you saw the
Context.
pictures
Who am I
of everyone
typing
else
in?
Context is
there?
Andy
important. If he
Robertson.
doesn't like me, then I wouldn't be that surprised if if I was there or not. But if we're going off the basis that pretty much all the English players, I don't know. I don't think he would invite
Virgil
me.
was there though.
Yeah, everyone's just basically English.
Go
Though.
on
He can
my
speak great
Insta
English.
story, it's on there.
On
But
Kop
basically
TV or
English,
you?
but
I'm just me. But no, I was loving that picture, and out of all of them, I have to say, Thiago or the Ox were the best dressed for me in that picture.
It's
what
on
do you think?
Hendo's.
Oh, is it Hendo? Yeah.
They were
Well,
all
they were all
looking
at
nice,
Robbo's
mate.
wedding. They were all looking suave, weren't they? Who do you reckon best dressed?
Boss the way Adam Lallana still chills with them all.
He's so close with them, man.
I'd say Hendo looks pretty
Does he?
suave, like.
Yeah, Hendo does look good too. Virgil, I think the trainers have let him down, if I'm
That's it.
honest. I'm going.
Virgil looks like he's trying hard,
Trent's
man.
not even tucked his shirt in there.
That's Trent, though, isn't it?
I'm going with Thiago and the Ox for me. I think they look the best there. Let us know in the
Yeah.
comments. You know what picture we're
They
talking
look like
about.
they're half matching as well. The way Ox's suit jacket matches Thiago's tie.
Yeah. Beautiful stuff.
Beautiful.
James,
Hello.
Ben Davis never
G.
got a start for Liverpool in a professional game. I remember being at, I think it was the Osasuna game with you last year, and he came on. I mean, you
We
were
were
going,
like,
"Come
"What
on,
it
Ben."
is? Go ahead, Ben, lad.
I
Go
mean,
to pitch.
the noise around that signing when we got him, we were so desperate for a centre back. We
Yeah.
bought him from Sheffield United.
Yeah.
Rangers have just bought him, bro. 3 million up front.
Yeah. And we made profit.
We made a profit.
we made profit.
3
Do you want me
mil
to tell you why
profit.
that's a great transfer in our history?
Go on.
Because we needed a centre-back, we got a centre-back. We got it for an affordable price where it doesn't actually dictate how our transfer budget's going to be spent in
Yeah.
the future. Not only that, but he came in, played fuck all footy besides one pre-season game.
And he only got about 10 minutes in that game.
About
Yeah.
10 minutes, and then he goes out on loan twice for the first season.
Yeah.
I don't know, 1 or 2 seasons, either way.
Yeah.
Goes out on loan, comes back, still hasn't played a minute of football, and we make profit on him.
It's good business.
I'm sorry, we are geniuses, but I hate the way that honestly, Liverpool football fans make me laugh in general. Just the way they start crying when something happens, like, this is one of the weirdest transfers in football history. Why did we buy Ben Davies?
Why didn't he play,
do you know,
though?
if you rewind all the way back to that fucking moment when we needed centre-back options, you will remember why we needed Ben Davies. Now, yes, we never had to end up using him, but that doesn't mean it's not good to have that option in the back seat just in case you do need it.
That's about
Because
having
then-
depth, innit?
Exactly, because then if Nat Phillips goes out injured, why didn't Liverpool just get some shit centre-back that they'll never even
Yeah,
use?
exactly.
Well, we done that. So now that it hasn't... What was you expecting from him? We signed him when he was 23 from fucking Preston, who were mid-table in the Championship. No disrespect, because that's a great level. But Ben Davies was never going to come into our team and become a first-team player.
In training, do you think he's just not done enough? Because
No,
Klopp's
yeah.
obviously
Here's the
sounded him
score.
out.
Here's the score. Sound player, stylistically would have been all right in our system because he's an all right ball-playing centre-back, but he's all right. All right is never going to cut it in the first team of Liverpool Football Club.
Fair enough.
Am I right or am I right?
I think
Don't give us
right.
many options there, but we'll go with the right.
I
think.
agree.
Yeah.
Which is why I said it.
Your options confused me a bit, so I'll just go with right.
It's quite mad the way an option of one choice confused you, but fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Ben Davis, sorry to see you leave,
Morning.
mate. Off to Rangers for 3 mil.
And that's a great move.
He could probably be the
He's
Scottish
going to
champion
somewhere
next
where
year.
there's European footy, week in, week out, lots of games. Great move for all parties. We make profit. We got our centre back to cover. You know, it was like a plaster on a cut. That's
Yeah,
what Ben
I'd
Davies
agree.
was, and that's exactly what we needed at the time. So good move for him. Good move for us.
You just
all
know that in
parties
about
happy.
10, 15 years, he's going to be turning out for the Masters Liverpool team. On that team class. It's like,
Playing next to
Hang on.
Jose Enrique.
you never even played, mate. Yeah, literally.
Playing next
Sander
to Jose
Westerveld in
Enrique.
goal. Hossamy at right back.
Possibly.
You know. But yeah, big up to Ben Davis. Never saw you on a pitch in a professional matter. But, there you go, at Rangers, big move. Right, at the weekend, there was a charity game that we were involved in.
So bad.
Not too sure what that was. But guys, the Owen McVeigh charity game happened at the weekend. I played in it.
You got rattled, lads.
You could say that.
got rattled.
So
I heard you was a bench warmer.
No,
I
that's
heard it
not
was
true.
an elf
That's not
who
true.
took
No,
out Alex in
I
the
literally
game.
got told he was sitting there warming up the bench when it was 28 degrees.
You two didn't turn up. So let me tell you what happened for the first time, because
Go
you
for
actually
it.
don't know about the score and what happened. And I've been saving this, right?
I'm not going to turn up if I'm not playing.
Went to well, you actually read. They wanted you to play, but anyway,
didn't have a
warmed
shirt.
up. Really, really hot, horrible stuff. Went out. The kit man was like 5 minutes before kickoff, so we were getting changed and all that. We had a decent team. We were in red, they were in black. There was a few Liverpool fans, a few Everton fans on their team. The game kicks off again, very hot. After about 15 minutes, they score 1-0. Toe punt near post. Keeper probably should have done better, but it turned out that our keeper was our man of the match, so I can't blame him. Just before the first half, I get the ball. I plant my foot, play it across, and the number 8 on their team, I don't know if you can see the stud marks there. There's one there and one at the bottom of my ankle where he's absolutely clattered me. To the point where the ref came over and said, that's a red card in a real game. And you know what I'm like, I'm in the ref's ear, send him off then. He's like, it's a challenge, you martial lads. And I'm like, yeah, but you still got to... Anyway, I was kicking off because I was getting stamped on. I remember one guy for a goal kick, like, was walking backwards and I just stood there and he bounced off me and then he went like that in my chest and he went, what are you doing, lad? And then he said, you're from the Kop TV, aren't you? So he went from elbowing me like that, pretty hard, to going, I know you lads, I watch all, yeah, big fan, lads. So it was mad. And then... So it's 1-0. We score from a corner, direct from a corner. The goalkeeper for them plays for Tranmere as well.
Oh, yeah.
So it flies in. So it's 1-0. Now at this stage, it's obviously about 30 degrees. People are coming on and off. My girlfriend was there. I started the game and finished the game, right? So there's no bench warmer. I went off for 10 minutes to catch my breath.
Girlfriend.
Well,
Still
she doesn't
fuming
know
about
about
that.
football,
You
does
can
she?
make a joke with him and he's thinking about it for days.
No.
Literally,
That's
though.
the type of person
That'll
that
get me
Alex
right
is.
with that.
She sent me a picture of you on the
it
bench.
finishes
He'll
1-0.
message you in a year's time saying, Ruby, I started the game and it ends
the
at the
pictures
game.
prove it and the video. But
starts
went to
the game and ends
penalties, right? So it's
That's going to be on his
1-0.
gravestone.
Yeah, cheers.
I started the game and I ended the game.
But this
While I got rattled
this
by an
isn't
elf.
even the worst bit, right? So penalty shootout. Jack's there filming from behind the goal. We win it to have it at our end. There's about 150 people there. Penalty shootout, right? I said, I want one. Give me one. I never shy out when it comes to penalties because you
I've
just
never
run up
scored
and you
a pen
just
in my
smash
life,
it as
no.
hard as you can, right?
That's what I do
So
when
I
I
said
take
to
a
the
pen.
captain, I was like, listen, I'm taking one. You put me down, I'll have number 3. So they take first, they miss, our keeper saves it. We score, they miss again. So at this point, I took the second one, sorry. So I'm putting the ball down. You know, I've got my family there, my girlfriend, mates there. So there's quite a lot of pressure and it's obviously, there's all their lot are on the halfway line. They're all shouting stuff as I'm putting the ball down. The keeper looks at me and goes, fucking hell, big lanky centre-back you, aren't you, lad? You're going to miss this, aren't you? And as I was walking up, you know that pressure walk, when you're walking up, you put it on the spot. In my head, I'm going, put it in the right. That's where you're going. Don't ignore this keeper. Don't even talk. Don't look at him. Don't get involved in his tomfoolery. What did I do? I looked up and started having a little word with him. And then all of a sudden, I've missed my penalty.
I thought he was going to say he scored.
No, he's obviously going to say he's missed that.
Yeah.
No.
This is the pan out of events, right? So it was a very hot day. I feel like he said that about 3 times.
I did get a sunstroke
Oh,
Saturday
no,
night
just,
as
it
well.
was
rattled.
30 degrees, don't miss
It
that
was
out.
30
Yeah.
degrees, a very hot 30
On
degrees
record, yeah.
day of weather. A elf came and took him out and put his studs in his feet.
Don't know if you
As
can
you
see
can
the
see
stud
there.
marks. but-
Don't know if you can see the stud
Don't
mark.
know if you can zoom in on that.
These aren't getting paid enough here because we need an extra cameraman who can come round and like zoom in on that shit.
I'm going to send them a picture that they can put in of me on the floor holding my ankle. And him.
Proceeded
Yeah.
to get
Please
rattled by
don't.
a kid who's a fan of the channel. Went on to get followed to the penalty spot by some big 6'4" fella going, "Oh, you big lanky bastard."
There's a
And
goalie, Tranmere goalie.
And then the Tranmere goalkeeper, they're giving each other their eyes. He misses the pen, but Ruby, it's all okay because he started the game
And he
ended
finished the game.
Do you know what? I've actually got a
Exactly
video.
that. Yeah, he's getting up.
I've actually got a video of me
Content him.
missing it, right? I've got a video of me missing it.
You can send them that. No one's really
Yeah.
that asked about your leg.
So look, this is me walking up, right? And again, we'll put this video in. So we'll get to it.
Oh, that's funny, that.
At this stage, the keeper's talking
Oh, it's a
to
proper
me.
goal. It's not like one of the
Yeah,
little
so
low
look.
ones. Oh, Alex, that's a shite pen.
Score the rebound.
I
but
can't
obviously
even
they
have
don't
got
count.
him. I missed the
No,
penalty in the
that's
year
a
10
bad
versus
pen,
year 11s match.
Go on, press play on that, bro. So listen, not my proudest moment, if I'm honest.
That is a very,
Nah,
very,
lads,
very
I
bad
missed
pen.
it.
I didn't
I
sleep on
can't hear
Saturday
you.
night.
No, you
didn't
can't.
sleep.
You can't mention people's pens and that for a while now. Watching
I haven't
the
been able to
screen.
talk about pens since I missed the one in year
I
10
thought you said
versus
you were
11
putting it
match.
in the right.
Yeah, but because he got in my head just went.
At least you're admitting that. I can respect that. Oh, that was a wank penalty.
Cheers. Yeah.
That was a wank penalty. Ooh, fucking
You
hell.
side-footed it as well.
You've made me
So
feel
what I
better
wanted
about
to do
myself.
was just side foot
I'd
it top
rather sky
right,
it than that.
But because he got in my head, I've kind of changed my mind last second.
Do you know what's mad? I had to
So-
put so much money on him score. If I was there
Yeah.
in that moment, I'd said he's scoring this. I'd have said that because you've actually got good technical ability. So I just want to let you know from a constructive standpoint, I'm very disappointed.
The worst thing was Jack had. Cheers, mate. No, I'm disappointed in
Don't
myself.
Say I'm not
bro.
his friend.
I'm disappointed in myself.
I can sit here and be a
more
fake
than
bastard.
anyone.
I can sit here and be a fake bastard and be like, oh,
I just want to say,
mate.
I am very disappointed.
Look, that was
Very
P Mac
disappointed.
watching with his covering his face. Jack had Doyle on FaceTime for the penalty miss.
And your
as
mum and
I
dad.
Yeah, and as I
So
walked
you're
behind
there
the
like,
goal,
fucking
Doyle
hell,
went,
lad.
don't worry, lad, loads of them missed. Anyway,
Your mum was there.
we
your
lost it.
Sister
We
was
lost.
there. Sisters, even your dog was there.
My dog was there as
and
well.
you fucked it in front of them all.
Lad,
Ruby, you don't need to make me feel worse. What you don't realise is I didn't sleep on Saturday night. I didn't go out for dinner. I had to stay in. I was embarrassed.
And he still started the game and finished the game.
did.
There
So
we go.
that shows
Even
you
through
that
all
I
those
was a
circumstances.
a valued player. But
That's
yeah,
passion, that, Jay.
big up to the passion merchant, they call me. Big up to the Owen McVeigh Foundation
Speaking
anyway.
of-
Lots of money
Defo.
raised. Great cause. Great day. There's actually another game in October, so obviously you guys will be involved in that one. And hopefully I can not have my ankle
Hopefully
snapped.
you can get the kid back.
Yeah,
I was
defo.
actually going to talk about passion because there was this fella. So he's on to the way I work for the charity, right?
Yeah.
For those who don't know, I work for the charity, so I knock on doors and that. Anyway, you meet some
Imagine
mad
this
fucking
bastard
people.
knocking on your door.
People fucking
No,
love it. There was
thanks,
this kid
not
one
today.
time, There was this kid one time, he comes to the door like that. He was defo stoned. He defo just had a big fat one night.
Yeah.
Comes to the door, he's there like that, like, whoa, lad. But his eyes start off like this and then he opens like that. It's funny, some of the reactions that you get on the door. But anyway, there was this fella, right? Because I was watching, did you watch the overlap of Paddy
Mate, I was
the Baddy and
literally
Molly
about to
McCann?
ask you that.
Oh,
It's
I've not
brilliant.
We'll
watched
talk
it, yeah.
about that a bit more in a
Brilliant.
sec because that was brilliant.
I've not watched it yet.
Shout out
Unreal.
to Paddy who obviously comes
Shout out to
here as
Gary
well.
Neville for keep coming to Liverpool, by the way.
Do you know what, mate? I'm kind of like
Shout
Paddy.
out to him.
I proper like Gary Neville, which is
too.
something that I thought I'd never say. But either way, lads, Molly Meatball mentions about like how people from St Helens call people cocks, right?
I like cock.
You're all right, cock. Like, get on this. So I was knocking on this door. This fella comes out, nothing but bills, might as well be in Speedos. They were blue as well, right?
The S
so I'm
fell
thinking,
off the Speedos as well, didn't they?
what?
The S fell off the Speedo.
Must have.
It just says pedo. But
Might have.
yeah.
Might have. Either way, he comes to the door, opens it, looks at me, I'm looking at him, we're looking at each other. But it's like this glare that he's not come. Do you know, like when you're all the scran or something and you've been in bed, you're in your boxies, so you go to the door and you just pop your head out
Yeah,
the
and
door.
you just-
Nice one
yeah.
for the scran, lads, and you bounce back upstairs. This kid came to the door, didn't know who the fuck was there because I'm a charity fundraiser, you don't know when we're going to knock. Opens the door, El Bolloco like that, hands on his waist, looking at me straight into my eyes. I'm thinking, this is interesting. So I go, you mate, my name's James, please do me spiel.
Yeah.
Get about 10 seconds into it and he goes, is this a charity cock? And lad, this is before I watched the overlap.
charity
Is this a charity cock? And this before I watched the overlap and I didn't know people from St Helens called you cock. So at first I went, what? And he was like, oh, no, is this a charity? So anyway, I carried on with my spiel. And I get to the end
And
of
he's
it.
still just got pants on at this stage.
No, just boxies.
He's only got his boxies on.
Just, and they were like rolled up, like when they're tight and compressed against your thigh, and they roll
Skid
up because
marks.
of sweat, maybe, possibly.
Possible
Gotta
skid
ask
marks.
him, cock.
We'll get VAR.
Got to ask him.
Gotta ask him, cock. But I get to the end of it, and he's listened to me the whole way through, God bless him. And he's gone, do you know what, mate? I'm not going to sign up now, but I'll sign up on the website, cock. I'll see you later, cock. And then anyway, he shuts the door, I'm bouncing off. I'm like, hey, you used to like me fellow fundraisers. I'm like, I swear he's just called me a cock. And then they were like, why did he call you a cock? I was like, I don't know. And then I saw that overlap video and I was like, that's why he called me a cock.
Right.
Because
It's
that's like
a term of endearment,
That's like
really.
a St. Helens thing.
Yeah.
Fucking hell,
I
was
never
like
knew
so
that,
confused.
to be fair.
I thought that was like a Sheffield or like
People from St. Helens are mad, you know,
Nottingham. I
lads.
know Nottingham's duck, isn't
People
it?
from St. Helens are fucking
Duck?
mad, bro. Like the
Yeah, they
majority
are,
of the
to be fair.
conversations
Yeah,
I had in
duck.
St. Helens, I thought I was in Lululand. It was fucking crazy, mate.
If I went to Nottingham or wherever you just said and someone started calling me a duck, my head would absolutely fall
Imagine
off
if you
and roll away.
imagine
No, but
getting
that's how
called
it
a
is,
cock
bro.
when you don't know that that's a thing for them.
Yeah, cock's worse. In Nottingham, they
Duck's
go, all right,
just
duck.
confusing
All right,
them.
duck. That's like
I've got a boxing
Tegan's,
coach called Duck.
like Tegan's family, that's how they speak.
They all say duck.
All right, ducker. Yeah.
I've got a-
or
She's called me
baby.
that.
Or baby.
Ew, tough.
This is like Tegan's family, no, duck.
In Nottingham,
Oh,
they
duck.
say duck as in like
All right,
a duck.
Yeah, they're not
That's
actually
weird, that,
calling
you know.
you like
That's what I mean.
they don't
I
think you look
understand
like a
that
duck.
cock is a bit like, whoa. But then like duck is like confusing.
Yeah, nah, I'm on to you
I'd
there.
be puzzled for days.
Really?
Nah, I'm on to you
Oh,
there.
you should go to Leeds.
What does that mean?
They call everyone shag up there. All right, shag.
Shaq.
That's what they
Aw.
say. All
So
right,
honestly,
shag.
it's
Oh, you're
conversations
shag.
like these that make
Right,
me so
shag,
proud
yeah.
to be Scouse.
It's so
Talking
confusing.
about that overlap, I was loving it. So you've got Gary Neville walking through town basically by their gym, the next gen gym.
Next gen.
So you got Paddy there, and he says, "I used to hate you," and his eyes goes, "Lads, I used to hate you, Gary." And now he's saying he loves him.
I used to hate you.
And but I like that though. I think Scousers
What was Gary doing
used to
when he
hate
said
Gary.
that?
But now
Let's
they
be
don't
honest,
mind
the
him.
two people who were just so transparent, and that's what I loved about the podcast. It was transparency. It weren't holding anything back. If we wanted to talk about what we wanted to talk about, if we wanted to get our message out there, it's boss the way Gary Neville was like, sweet, get your message out there, son. I'm not going to stop you, you know what I mean? I'm here with you. And that's something that's respectable. And these two are two people who are such great influences on this city right now. In terms of the entertainment value that they bring, the morals that they stand for, and the things that they're going out the way to do to actually improve things. Like Paddy said it
100%.
best. He was talking about how he does nothing but charities online and stuff. And mate, he's just a hero. He wants to embrace the culture of the city. He wants to bring it to the mainstream eyes. Honestly, the best pair that you could ask for. Molly, mate, she's the queen. She's the absolute queen. She's fucking brilliant, mate. She's fucking boss, the pair of them are. But she's so wise and she's so knowledgeable when it comes to talking about the stuff that matters most.
And they spoke about some deep stuff. You know, there was like
I've not
depression,
watched it yet.
But
suicide
that's why
chat.
I love it though. Like some transparency.
real
Why are we
open
dancing
stuff.
around all the subjects that are probably the main topics of our lives?
Yeah.
Some people don't want to disclose that information, and very fair enough, but you can see the purpose of the reason of why they're doing that.
Yeah.
Because they want people to either relate to it or they want to be
I
able to
think
learn from it.
it's
Like,
a
wow,
big-
these two super fucking athletes who
Yeah.
are taking over the UFC can go through all this shit.
Yeah.
How do you reckon?
That's
Maybe
what I
can
mean.
crack
Like,
on.
it's a good thing when people at a certain stature obviously feel the need to express their own situations and things like that, because it lets other people, whether you follow them or not, you can still see how amazing that they're doing.
Defo.
It lets other people know that you're not alone, or there's other people going through the same things, or there's people at this level that go through the same thing as you. So it's brilliant to just be able to talk about stuff like that.
I fucking love them,
and
mate.
resonate with it.
I do. I don't know if these will be able to put the voice note in, but Molly sent me a voice note that was funny as anything after the after. Do you know what? Do you know where my phone is? No, it's all right. It's all right. Only because if I can, I'd love to show you this voice note that Molly Meatball sent me.
Yeah.
The day after the first card that Aaron Paddy fought on. Thank you.
In
lad.
London.
Sorry about that.
So this was in London, right?
She
would have been in London.
This was the apex. It was behind closed doors, this card, but it was the time where Paddy done the video saying, "We don't do it, buts or maybes, lad. We do
How do you like me
absolutes."
now?
We don't do it buts or maybes, lad. We do absolutes.
I still
one.
love that fucking video, but either way, I'll put this in this. You keep talking amongst
I
yourselves.
feel
while I'm
like as
getting it
well,
up.
we didn't even realise how big it was at the time that Paddy won that fight and came out and said his
No, I
bloody
did.
saying. I know we did, but I don't think the
My
rest...
younger brother proper follows like the UFC and the boxing and all that, so I knew that was a big thing.
I followed the UFC
yeah.
like
So
that.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
for
yeah.
me, my head was all over the gaff. I was like, "What, lad? Like, I love the UFC."
Even the
but either
fact
way-
it was like Jordan, like a key bit where like he's walking through and all that.
That's what I mean. Like,
All
it was
the
just
cameras
after he
were on
won his
him.
fight. So whatever he goes on to achieve, I can sit there. That was his first ever UFC
Yeah,
fight. I can
that
sit
was
there
his,
and be like,
that was his debut,
he
wasn't it?
said my quote on his debut
Yeah.
in the UFC. How boss is that?
Yeah.
But this is the voice note that Molly Meatball
Put it by
sent
your
me.
mic.
I'm going
Put it
to.
on the mic, yeah.
I just want to explain it a bit first. It's because I just literally mentioned it in my story, saying well done on winning your fight and that. And then the next morning, I just see a voice note from Molly, and I'm thinking,
She
"What,
loves a
what's
good
this?
voice note, Mel.
Get on this. This sounds like she's been on a rough one as well. Let me get it up.
Yes, lad. The whiskey's burnt me throat so much. I'm still here. We was talking about you all day. Well, when Paddy said that, my hand, fuck. I was just laughing about you, lad.
Like, do you know when I got
she'd
that
been on
message?
it.
I was like, first of all, she celebrated the fight rightly, and for her to send that message was boss. You know what I mean? I was buzzing when I listened to that message.
She's one of my good mates, Mal. She's so sick. She's just boss. Remember when I done that market with my t-shirts?
Yeah.
I was talking to her in the morning and I was like, oh, I've got to do this. And she was like, yeah, kid, I'll come and help you. She met me in town and I've
Yeah,
got a
that's sick,
video
man.
of her and she's basically
I've seen that
carrying,
video, yeah.
she's carrying a box which is probably like the size of that chair that you're sitting on, and it's got like 200 t-shirts and hoodies in, and she was just carrying it on her head from Seal Street all the way to Kitchen Street for me, so because it was going to be me having to carry it.
That's fucking mad, that, you
She's
know.
just so sick.
Her dog's wicked as well. I've been walking Gus before and I've bumped into her. She's got a little Frenchie called Frank.
Frank or something
and
like that.
yeah, she likes Gus. So yeah, big up to Molly.
She's
great
sick, man.
appearance on that podcast.
Didn't she used to play footy as well?
Yeah,
for
she
Liverpool
played
or
for the
Everton?
team I played for when I was younger.
She played professionally as well, though, didn't she, for a bit? Liverpool or Everton?
She played for Everton.
Was it Everton?
She got
think so,
in that
yeah.
thing. She
She
said
played
she
for
got
Liverpool
picked
as
up
well.
by Liverpool.
I was going to say, I think she might
But
have
then
got
she
picked up
went
by
uni
Liverpool.
and her story's unreal though. Like
Yeah,
if you
she's-
haven't watched that episode of
It's
the
mad though
Overlap,
because
go and
it's
watch
so
it.
similar to like so many girls
Yeah.
that like I know, because obviously you don't get signed as a professional as a female footballer. Like it's a big thing. Like obviously Bo Kearns and Taylor Hines absolutely smashing it now. They've just signed with Nike and all that, but that is a big
Yeah,
thing.
it's massive.
People like Alex Morgan, like them top American ones, they were only just getting them a few years ago and stuff like that. So for young girls who are playing for our team, our women's team, to
It's
be
getting better. It's getting
that's what I
better.
mean. Like
Boss
it's
the way women
they're
are getting
getting more
opportunities
notability and
for it.
stuff, but that all comes from throwing them into the parade, showing other people that they are doing well.
For sure, man.
Without that exposure, how the hell are they going to
And
grow?
their faces are on the side of the stadium
Yeah.
with the lads
That's
as well.
the one
like
thing I
Bo
agree
Kearns
with.
was
Do you know
on
when
the
people
side.
sit there and say women like should get paid as much as men? I'm like, realistically, they can't because they don't make as much money as men. But
Yeah.
then it comes back to the other side of the coin, is that it's our job to promote them and
Exactly.
show, right, look what these women can do.
Exactly.
So I'm glad to see that Liverpool are taking
Yeah.
those initiatives. and
Liverpool
going,
are
listen.
late on it though.
No, I agree, but it's good. It's better to be late than never.
Yeah, that's
essentially.
very true.
So I was made up to see the women
Women's
out there.
Euros as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I
Yeah,
feel
man.
like
We
there's
enjoyed
more
doing that though, didn't we?
100%.
We went down to DR
I made a bet
Sports.
last week, didn't I, on
Yeah,
the
you
Women's
did.
Euro stream. Someone called Belgium, who's on AFTV a lot, he said, I reckon Arsenal can win the league next year. And I said, I bet
That's
you
crack cocaine
£10,000.
for you, my mate.
Exactly. I said, I bet
Crack
you £10,000.
He was funny,
But the
and he
way
was chatting some
was mad.
gibberish. He was
But the way he
hysterical.
reacted, it was like, oh my God, have we got that on camera? Like it was actually
Yeah, they were all,
gonna
like,
happen.
clipping
Do
it.
you know what I mean? Like, that's getting clipped up. Clip it, mate.
Literally,
Stick another 5
while we
euros
were on the
it. It's
train
not gonna
home,
happen.
he was like, it's literally being clipped already, and it was online.
But anyway, it's
He'll
what
be
it is.
buzzing if
But
they
listen,
win the league.
my point was the England women's team should be getting a lot of love right now, as they are. But I feel like you know what it's like, Scousers supporting the men's England team. I think it's different with the women's.
Yeah,
I
bare
think
people
there's
who-
more Scousers that are getting behind the women's England team.
Yeah,
Yeah, sort of.
I'm
No,
not.
back
I'm
then, I
not
was on back
England in any way. You know, I'm not. Like,
I don't back England.
not with England.
I haven't bought an
If you want
English
me to
shirt
support the
since
players, I support the
2005.
players, but I'm not supporting.
Nah, still not
what
asked
the-
about the men's, but with
But
the
the women's,
women's,
though.
it's completely different.
I don't know,
Completely
it's still, they're
different.
still representing the same institution. So I'm not going to be backing the badge per se. But
Nah, I
for the
support
players,
France for
good on them.
the women's and that anyway, don't I? But
Well, because you got them in the sweepstake.
that's not.
And you
the
could
only
be going to
reason why.
Barcelona if they win. But anyway, there's your Hot Kopics episode number 34. We're
Yeah.
rattling through
That's it,
these.
yeah.
Big up to Ruby for coming on as always.
Yeah,
and
fish
Jay, Bosch.
Bluetooth.
Like, comment, and subscribe to the Kop TV. Go and follow Ruby. Go and follow Jay as well as we approach the season. Loads more coming up
Yeah.
in terms of outside
I
of the
will
Kop
be
TV work
a
that
little
we're
bit more
working on.
awake
Get
on
your
the next
flux
ones as
gear,
well.
lads.
Get your flux gear.
Get your
Obviously, we're
flux
sponsored
gear,
by
bro.
Flux. So, guys, massive shout out to watching. If you like this episode, then make sure you go and subscribe. Take care. We'll see you next week.
In a bizzle.